We are running out of Bitcoin. It's a simple fact. And today I'm going to prove it with data that we might not have as long as maybe many are anticipating to try and accumulate before we potentially see a supply shock in Bitcoin. So first and foremost, we're here on the circulating supply chart on Bitcoin Magazine Pro. And what we can see is if we just zoom in, recently we surpassed 20 million Bitcoin in circulation. Now, I'm sure you're all aware there is a hard cap in Bitcoin of 21 million. So we don't really have that much left, less than 1 million Bitcoin to go. And that remaining million Bitcoin is going to take about another 114 years or so to actually come into circulation. Because of these halving events, cutting the inflation rate by 50% every single year, we already have over 95% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist already in circulation. Now, if all of that Bitcoin was liquid and being actively traded, then we wouldn't really have too much to worry about. But because this is a scarce asset and people want to hold it, what we can do is look at something like the long-term holder supply of Bitcoin and see that people are becoming more and more willing to hold on to this asset, which again, probably isn't groundbreaking news. I'm sure you hold a little bit of Bitcoin or have some vested interest in it doing well. So you're probably happy to hold on to it. And clearly lots of people are willing to do the same. If we look at the current long-term holder supply of Bitcoin, or the amount of Bitcoin held by those defined as long-term holders, which is having held Bitcoin for 155 days or more, which may not feel like a long time, but beyond that point, you're more likely to hold it indefinitely than just trade it for a quick buck. It's over 15 million. Now, recently, this has been rapidly accelerating to the upside, indicating that long-term holders just aren't distributing coins as much as they previously did. And we can see this again very quickly if I just go to the value days destroyed multiple, which not only shows the amount of Bitcoin being sold by these long-term holders, but it also weights it by the amount of time the Bitcoin has been held and creates a little bit of a ratio out of that. So if that sounded a little confusing, this is a 100% free chart. You can come here, read up about the value days destroyed. But essentially when we see these green levels here, indicates that not only are large and long-term holders not selling Bitcoin compared to, like we could see a few months ago, all of the subsequent peaks we set in price action, we saw a huge amount of distribution from coins. We're at levels now which are really bear market low level territory. We can see 2022 bear market low back here in 2018. Fair enough, that wasn't the exact low we saw in the price, but again, a very similar level when we actually did bottom out. Throughout 2015 and 2012, it was a similar story as well. So we're seeing more and more Bitcoin being held. And it's not just those that are already holding Bitcoin. We're seeing countless amounts of Bitcoin being scooped up by treasury companies like Strategy, who are accumulating over 1,000 a day. And honestly, wouldn't surprise me if they surpass 1 million Bitcoin in holdings before 2027. And as we can see, this isn't looking like it's going to slow down. If we look at the ETF daily flows chart as well, we can see recently we had one of the biggest days of inflows that we've seen in recent months. And this is from a recent weekly site subscriber piece, but this is looking at the 28-day average ETF inflows and outflows. And what we can see, once the 28-day, 4-week, monthly, however you want to word it, inflows for these ETFs turns positive, historically, it's been a good indication of upcoming bullish price action. But back to the long-term holder supply, because one thing we have to take into consideration is this is very much on an uptrend, which is good to see, more people wanting to hold Bitcoin. But again, the circulating supply is increasing. So the more accurate way to look at this, to actually gauge if people are holding onto their Bitcoin for longer periods of time, is to look at it as a percentage. So here I used the Bitcoin Magazine Pro API. If you're a site subscriber, you get access to lots of the raw data straight from our website. And what I did is I just turned this into a percentage. So we can see here, if I can line it up nicely, that right now we're currently seeing around 75.5% of all Bitcoin in circulation held by long-term holders. Now, this has increased quite rapidly. If we look to pretty much exactly 5 months ago when this bottomed out, it was about 70.3%, just say 70.5%. So in about 5 months, it's going up by around 5%. We're increasing at about a 1% per month rate currently. And this doesn't look to be slowing down. This is showing no indications. If anything, we can actually see this has been speeding up recently. So we might be on pace to surpass around 80% Bitcoin held by long-term holders in about September. Now, that's a pretty significant milestone, because if I just scroll, I won't scroll, I'll just do it here. If we outline all the previous instances of when we saw 80% of Bitcoin being held by these long-term holders, it was as Bitcoin had bottomed out. It was just before we had this big exponential rally up to a new all-time high at 74K. most recently here just before we broke up to $100,000 for the first time, and very, very briefly here before we ran to $126,000, our ultimate all-time high. So clearly this might be a little bit of an inflection point, a almost critical level. Once Bitcoin has surpassed that amount of illiquidity, it's time to really start paying attention. Now, that's not just because of the supply and demand economics. What we can do is take into consideration the money multiplier effect. So essentially what this is showing us is, again, almost looking at the relationship between the percentage of Bitcoin being held by long-term holders and the influence that has on the underlying market cap of Bitcoin. Now, as I said previously, if all Bitcoin was very liquid, non-held by long-term holders, and it was all very actively traded, then we'd imagine $1 of inflow into the Bitcoin market cap would increase the market cap by $1. But if the illiquid supply of Bitcoin is, say, 50% of the Bitcoin isn't being moved, then $1 flowing into the market actually increases the market cap by $2. We get this money multiplier effect due to the illiquidity of Bitcoin. Now, again, right now, we've just surpassed a money multiplier of around 4, indicating that for every $1 coming into Bitcoin, the market cap increases by about $4. Now, considering the ETFs, treasury companies, and everyone are pouring billions into Bitcoin, this is clearly having a bit of a positive influence on the price action. But again, one thing we can see is this is trending to the upside. This isn't just something that is, kind of stagnant and waiting at these kind of normal levels throughout all cycles. There's definitely a trend as Bitcoin is growing that more and more is being held by these long-term holders. So I thought I'd try and model out at what point we could maybe expect Bitcoin to have this supply shock, to have this big squeeze. And very quickly, just before I get onto that, I think one really interesting thing to look at as well is, even though the previous cycle may have been a little underwhelming, what we can do is if we cumulatively count all the Bitcoin sold by long-term holders, so not just the amount of Bitcoin that was sold in any of these peaks, but if we add all of these peaks together from when we were above 16 million to about 14.7 million, from when we were again above 16 down to 14.3 million, cumulatively that totaled about 7.5 million Bitcoin offloaded by these long-term holders. And price remained, pretty steady. It was pretty remarkable to see that. But again, we can see more Bitcoins in circulation compared to previous cycles, so it's maybe anticipated that we'll see a little bit more profit taking. But if we look at it as a percentage of the circulating supply, the percentage of supply held by these long-term holders, then we can see Bitcoin topped out at pretty much the exact same level that we'd seen in previous cycles. So pretty interesting. And if we look at the bottoming formation here, we can see that the cumulative amount of Bitcoin capitulated by these long-term holders is also entering a region that we'd usually anticipate a bottom to be forming for the Bitcoin price action. But like I said, what we're going to do is model this percentage of long-term holder circulating supply. So what I did, get all of this data, and again, almost fit this linear regression line to the long-term holder supply, looking at the compounded annual growth rate. Now, I've just given away a little bit what we're going to be covering, but as we can see, this is very much trending to the upside. Now, I mentioned previously 80% potentially being a little bit of an inflection point for the Bitcoin price action. And this isn't just based on wild speculation. We can actually see here in an article by The Rational Root back in 2022, he'd almost modeled out this HODL metric to try and quantify when we will reach this kind of inflection point. And it was the liquid supply approaching 80%. Now, as I said, this was written in 2022. This was forecasted to be hit by 2036. We can see if we scroll down here, at this point in time, 4 years ago, I think many were underestimating the influence that treasury companies and ETFs and a more willingness to hold Bitcoin for the long term would really have on the price appreciation potential. So what I did is modeling this, we can almost map out to see when we're likely to surpass 80%. Now, we already figured out that our current rate of appreciation, about 75.5%, about a 5% increase over the past 5 months, that we're likely to surpass 80% in around September. But not just on the long-term holder actual percentage. This long-term holder regression is also going to surpass 80% before 2027, sometime around October. So I think Q3 into early Q4 looks like a pretty good area to potentially see a final Bitcoin bottom to be formed if it's not already being formed. But we can take it one step further. If we look at this, and it is a little small, I'll just zoom in a little bit. The 25th of October 2026 is when this line of best fit, essentially, of long-term holder percentage of circulating supply will surpass 80%. But Again, we can take it further. When will we pass 82.5%? 2029. Now, in this article here, the rational route imagined it'd be around 2036 when we'd approach 80% illiquid supply, but we far outpaced that. By 2036, we'll have likely surpassed 87.5% of Bitcoin being entirely illiquid and over 90% before 2041, which sounds like a long time away. But that's not many halvings away. We've got 2028, 2032, 2036, 2040, just over 4 halvings away potentially. Over 90% of Bitcoin on average. Of course, there's fluctuations in this metric, goes above it and below it, but this is almost line of best fit based on the declining compounded annual growth rate of the long-term holder percentage of Bitcoin. Over 90% in just 14 years. And we can map this further to get to 99.99%, which would be 2252. So we might have a few hundred years to wait before Bitcoin truly hits this omega short squeeze potential, ultimate supply shock where barely any is moving. But I just thought it was very interesting to model that out. And if you did like this type of kind of analysis by not just myself, but of course the great mind that is the rational route, then why don't you come and see me and Root present in Las Vegas in just a week or so's time, or you can come see me talk about prediction markets as well. So just to summarize, Bitcoin will likely once again surpass 80% of circulating supply held by long-term holders by around September 2026. This is over 16 million Bitcoin. That's not really easily accessible by new capital coming in. And previous instances of such Bitcoin illiquidity did not last long and all provided amazing opportunities for accumulation. I got there in the end. Not only does this cause somewhat of a supply shock, but this increases the money multiplier effect. Essentially, how many dollars come into Bitcoin in relation to how many dollars the market cap increases. God, it's quite early in the day today. I'm getting there eventually. But what we can see is by modeling the compounded annual growth rate of the long-term holder percentage of circulating Bitcoin, it points towards these economics becoming incredibly and increasingly favorable in really the not too distant future, and potentially stabilizing at over 90% in just 4 halvings time. So if you're like me and you're bullish on Bitcoin long term, then you can just look at the data, you can look at the psychology and behavior of the participants to see that this supply shock probably isn't a million miles away. And if you did like this video, if you want to access the API to create your own custom metrics like I did today, if you want TradingView indicators, indicator alerts, industry reports, all that good stuff, standard sales pitch, then do consider becoming a site subscriber. And as always, let me know your thoughts below in the comments and on social media. I look forward to reading and replying to them. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.